We live in a world where our schools, workplaces, and communities continue to evolve rapidly. But the way in which we interact with each other, the kindness, the compassion, that should never change. This alone has brought on a need for professionals who are passionate to bring awareness about what is appropriate for today's dynamic society. And today, we're going to delve deeper into this aspect of life. Hello, everyone. To everyone live with us today, thank you all for joining in, and a very warm welcome to our regular audience, and of course, to those who are joining us for the first time as well. Allow me to tell you a little bit about TLR Now. TLR Now is a niche coaching, training, and mentoring service provider based out of Pune in India. TLR Shows, which we are on right now, is a place where we bring some amazing people who inspire us to go above and beyond. So, welcome to TLR Shows, everyone. I am Isha Vikram, a trainer in early childhood education and your host for the next hour. I have worked in the cultural sector in Belgium, and my goal in life is to introduce empathy and compassion in early childhood with the mission to make the world a more respectful and tolerant place to live in. I'm always open to meaningful collaborations to spread the message of empathy across the world. And that brings me to our guest for today, Farida Dahi. Farida, she is an etiquette coach for kids and an image consultant and soft skills trainer. She comes with a rich experience of more than 15 years in the corporate sector and 7 years in training and personal development. Her love for kids and passion for training made her start Kidikets. At Kidikets workshop, children learn the importance of manners, social etiquette, body language, grooming and personal hygiene, thanking and apologizing, accepting and giving compliments, gratitude, saying no to bullying, table manners, and much more through fun filled and interesting activities. So, well, if we talk about parenting, parenting is quite challenging in more ways than one. And if we want to raise diligent children, we must allow ourselves to seek help from experts like Farida. This episode is all about exploring the nitty gritty of life and manners. Welcome to the show, Farida.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Isha. That was such a wonderful introduction. And I really love what you are doing.
Oh, thank
So
you so
it's an
much.
honor to be here.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you around with us as well. So, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great.
That's amazing. So let's begin talking. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. So allow me to start with a very fundamental question. It is a simple but fundamental question. Is I would really appreciate if you could educate us a little on the topic itself. What do you mean when you say etiquette, and what do manners mean then?
Sure, definitely. That's a very important question. So, manners is basically character building, it is an expression of your inner self.
Mm-hmm.
Respect, kindness, consideration are the basis of good manners, right? And when somebody is polite and civil, they are socially
Mm-hmm.
well accepted.
Right.
Etiquette, on the other hand, is a code of conduct, set of rules that one needs to follow during their interaction socially, in a professional environment, even with the family. But etiquette and manners go hand in hand. So
Mm-hmm.
you cannot say that, I have dining etiquette, but I don't know how to interact and be polite with somebody who is there on the table around with me. So it goes hand in hand.
Right.
And in today's world, more so it is important, because I feel more and more people are losing their social etiquette. We are so glued with our gadgets
Mm-hmm.
that the communication level has reduced a lot. We don't realize it, but I feel manners and etiquette are getting even more and more important in today's world.
Right, right. You're saying the absolutely perfect thing that we need today is interaction and communication, which which I do believe with the advent of technology has gotten easier, but in a way is also made the communication between two people a bit distant. So, sure, you obviously feel that etiquettes and manners are important, or else you would not be teaching the fine lines of etiquette. So, and you've already told us how why you feel so, why you feel it is so important. I wish to understand, say in your introduction, we see that you started out as a corporate etiquette trainer. And so it would be nice if you could tell us a bit about what your experience was like working with adults.
Okay. So
Yeah.
adults, my foundation for training started because of my corporate background. So
Mm-hmm.
training and personal development is all thanks to the foundation in the corporate sector. It's more than 15 years. So it's a different ball game altogether when you're talking about dealing with adults and children. And having handled both, I definitely feel it's more fun to be with children. However, adults have already reached a stage where you need to take into consideration their mindset, where they come from, their level, and they already come with a baggage that I already know it. What are you going to teach me more? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So even if things have been taught to them, it's very difficult to see them implement it.
Mm-hmm.
And on the contrary, when you deal with children, they are like sponge. First of all, they are so eager to learn something new. The moment you teach them something, they will go and talk about it either to their friends or to their parents. This is what I learned, and they are eager to do something new. So the implementation comes faster with children.
Mm. Okay, that's interesting, and a good observation that you invariably could make through your experiences. With Kittikat, your focus now is directed at children only. Is that right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So, what triggered or prompted you to make this switch from corporate to working with children?
So, to be honest, I still continue to do corporate trainings along with KittyCat because the workshops are only during the workshop during the weekend and
Mm-hmm.
also during the summer breaks. But what triggered me to do is definitely after having my own daughter, I started hosting a lot of parties, birthday parties, sleepovers, and when you see kids coming over, some of them
Mm-hmm.
really you feel, oh my god, they really lack at manners. So I once had a birthday party where one of the kids just went straight into the cake. The cake was not even cut, and licking the cake. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
what next? So you see these different things. They were not badly behaved, but sometimes they eat sloppily, and you see that the behavior. That's what I was like. Instead of training adults, and since I already am an image consultant, I do this. Why don't I start training these kids? It will be more fun. And the other thing that really inspired me was I used to watch a lot of Barbie movies with my daughter.
Okay.
And in Barbie, they have a lot of these princesses being getting trained in the charm school. So
Mm-hmm.
somewhere I felt that every parent feels their child is a prince or a princess. So why not teach them to behave like one and become one?
Okay, that's interesting and kind of empowering for all the children who believe
Yes,
that they are prince and princesses. So when this brings me to another viewpoint, which is on a weekend basis, you you visit a child's world and you're looking the world through children's lenses. So what does that feel like to you?
so children are a bundle of energy, and that energy is pretty magnetic. Okay, you when I'm entering into a child's world, I need to come down to their level. Okay, I need to inculcate things that will bring fun into the learning. At the same time, they are taking home something. It's not just only fun,
Right.
but so I have to be on my toes all the time, and I can't expect the child to be sitting quietly and now listen to me. Then they would might as well go to just the school. It has to be very practical, and get them involved in it. When they are involved, when they are doing it, they learn it faster, and it's an exchange of a lot of energies, a lot of it's a great feeling.
It's lovely that you enjoy your work so much.
Oh yes, I do. I wish
And
I could do it every day.
oh, that's really nice. It's really nice to do what you want to do.
Yes,
I'm happy for
definitely.
you, Frida. So,
Thank you.
amidst all the things that you teach your kids, what do you think is the most important of them all?
So a lot of things that are done in etiquette, all the topics are equally important. However, the most important aspect is about respect. So
Mm-hmm.
the main goal of the whole program is to make respectful adults. So when they learn to respect others, and they also know how one needs to be treated, it's not just I am respecting someone else, I need to respect my own self, and I should
Mm-hmm.
know how I want the other person to treat me.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously everybody wants to be treated well, and if I want to be treated well, I would expect the same treatment for the other person. So the main
Mm-hmm.
aspect about etiquette is respect. Uh, However, when it comes to the different topics, the most important is where in fact, in the beginning only, I ask them when the workshop starts, why do you think etiquette and manners are important? So they come up with their own answers. Some say we have to use words like please, sorry, thank you. Some will say that table manners are important. Some say it's a good impression. So in the main aspect, I feel is helping them build new friends and build relations. Because when I ask them how many friends you want to make, they will all say 100. Some will say 200. I want to make everybody my friend. Yeah, but then how do you make those friends?
Mm-hmm.
So that is where you need to start. So that's where I start exchanging pleasantries, self introductions. And when they do that, they automatically become confident that, okay, I am something important, I'm someone important. And it gives them that freedom to, speak about themselves. So the
Mm-hmm.
most important piece is where, they exchange pleasantries, introduce one another, and make new friends.
Right. And this in a way is also transformative because this is going to instill a sense of confidence in the children, don't you think?
Definitely, it is transformative. So once they've done the workshop and they understand the importance of respecting others, they're going to carry it further. Like certain topics like empathy, giving compliments, they are going to take it further with them, where when they start
Mm-hmm.
after the workshop, and they grow up, they implement these things. So it is transformative in a way, making them more respectful, and trying to implement the things that have been taught. So being more
Right.
compassionate, being more empathetic.
Right, right. So that's true. When children have a good foundation of manners, it is going to spill over in other aspects of their life as well. You know,
Yes.
as yeah, as you grow up, manners become a source of how you treat other people and how you act in social situations and respect other people's opinions. So this foundation work becomes very crucial. So what you're doing is important. So, and could you tell me a bit about working this field? What is it that excites you the most working in this field?
The feedback that I get from parents, and
Hmm.
most of the times the children themselves tell me that they really enjoyed it. So the happy faces, and when I get feedbacks like, my daughter taught me how to have the soup, or how to use the chopsticks, or my daughter taught me certain things that were taught in the workshop, that really makes me feel good. So a good feedback from the parent as well as the kids is what I look forward to.
Oh, okay, that's nice. And it's nice to hear nice things about the work you're doing. It's very encouraging, isn't it?
Thanks.
Yeah. So, can you tell me a bit about your life? What was your life like growing up?
So to tell you honestly, from from 6 years, from the first
Uh-huh.
grade, I was brought up in a boarding school. So now you can understand where it
Uh-huh.
all comes from.
Yeah,
And
okay.
even though I was very small, I still remember my very initial days as a boarder. And we were taught how the first time learning about using the cutlery, sitting on the
Mm-hmm.
dining table, what all things to do at the dining table, never to eat, talk while you're eating. Close your mouth and eat. And if we didn't know it, we were punished. We were had to put our, close our lips like that and chew. Within a week, I learned everything. Elbows off the table and finish everything that is there on your plate, and wait till everybody is finished eating.
Yeah.
So and it was pretty strict, but it was fun too. So my upbringing has been very disciplined in a boarding school, though I was naughty and did all those things. But you can imagine the environment that I've come from.
Definitely, definitely. Now we can see where the whole aspect of manners and etiquette come from. It's been ingrained in you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then, so your experience, your schooling, and your childhood experiences must have influenced your personality, obviously, and your thought process. And uh, what kind of influence do you think it has brought about in your teaching style, in the way you conduct your workshops? Because um, is it as strict? Is it less strict? How has it impacted your way of teaching etiquette and manners?
So honestly, when I started off as while I was working and I started my training, I was pretty much strict. I was like a no nonsense person. You can't you can't get away with Farida. It was like that. But things really changed after I had my daughter and I started
Mm-hmm.
interacting a lot with her friends and with other kids. I realized that children cannot be taught in the fashion that we were taught, like in a boarding school, or the way you teach adults. There has to be a different way. So my learning style changed. I had to bring a complete change to my learning style when I started dealing with children, and the more I dealt with them, the more I understood them better. So it is very different, and it has to be.
Mm-hmm. And what do you mean when you say it is different? How different is it, and why did you believe that those differences are important in the way of teaching?
So one is when you're too strict, you're not allowing the child to open up freely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you are getting them to do things out under pressure. They're just doing it because either they're scared of you or they want to just get away. That you do away with the training.
Mm-hmm.
So if I try to be strict, if I tell them sit in one place and listen to me, it will be another session that they are attending in school. This has to be something different, and if it has to be transformative, it has to be dealt in a different way. So I
Right.
had to bring in a lot of fun element, a lot of practical elements, and a lot of activities which taught them the topic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just give you an example. If there is something like I do an activity where they need to give compliments, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes kids feel shy at, if somebody tells them something nice, they are shy, they don't know how to respond. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously you either give back that compliment, or you at least acknowledge it and say thank you. So I bring a ball to the class, and each one throws the ball at one another, and they
Mm-hmm.
give the compliment.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how I inculcate. So different things. I think over it. What will work, and what is going to help them take that message home. And most of
Mm-hmm.
them have come back and said that, like, oh, I like that game that you made us play. It was really fun. So that is how they'll remember that topic also.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. That's correct. That's a more easier way for kids to understand and grasp concepts.
Yes.
That's really interesting. I also see that there was a comment from one of our viewers, and I would like to address the fact that we will take up questions later on. Um, so I'm not sure. Would you like to answer the question right now, or should we take all the questions in the end?
However you're comfortable. I'm okay with anything.
Okay, so if the question pops up again, I will try to give. Okay, I'll just read the question. So, Mr. Trivikram says, how does language play a role in learning etiquette by a child, or is it language a bar at all?
Language should never be a bar in learning anything, to be honest. I can if the child is not understanding English, I do teach them in Hindi or in Gujarati also. So language doesn't matter here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Right,
manners are universal. Okay, so
right,
it's just a concept that you need to know English in order to do certain things. I have
right.
been willing to even go and teach the underprivileged children, and if I had to do that, I wouldn't mind speaking in Gujarati, Hindi or Marathi, as long as I know the language.
Yeah. All right. All right. I hope our viewer has got his answer. Um, if there are more questions, I would like to let you know that we have a section for your questions and comments to address them in the end. But feel free to keep commenting and questioning, and we will pick up your questions in the end for sure. And if there is something that comes up that I happen to see during our conversation, I'll try to address them as well. So, but thank you, Farida, for this impromptu question answer. And okay, so let's get back to understanding you and your work and your life a bit better. And so for that, it would be nice if you tell us what kind of feedback did you get, or maybe you still get from your family members, from your friends or neighbors, or people you work with.
So I must thank God for Kitty Cat. It's given me visibility, more respect and admiration than anything I've ever done, to be honest.
Wow.
The kind of After my very first workshop, my husband went and bought the first cutlery set, the entire set for me. He was that supportive and that happy that I'm doing something so good. Um my brother-in-law, when he knew that I already have a dot inside, he just googled and he found out that dot com is available. He immediately bought that for me. He said, "No, you need to have a dot com because dot com means it's worldwide recognized." And one of
Wow.
my friends' husband, he helped me in the logo. He put in gave me his inputs and all in making the logo. And I have so many of my friends and my ex-colleagues, they send their kids for my workshop.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's yeah.
it's a big thank you to all of them for all their support, and I hope I keep making them feel proud of my accomplishments.
I'm sure you will. That it is great to know that you have a very supportive backing from a lot of people. It's very nice, Farida. I'm happy. So, and can you tell me a bit about the beginning of when you started to do Kitikets? Was it always this way? Was everybody, not just the family members and friends and neighbors, but also the reception of the workshop in itself? Was it always this booming, or, for example, did you face any difficulty or any common misunderstanding with respect to your mission in the beginning?
No misunderstanding as such, but honestly, it didn't take off for a year. When I had conceptualized it, I had everything ready. It took a while. So I need to thank this lady Vandana Saxena, who had her library. So when I started posting about it on Facebook, she happened to see it and she said, I would like to invite you to come to my library and do your workshop. And I was like, wow, this is a wonderful opportunity. And that was my very first workshop. And the very first workshop, I got like 10 children, and it was the starting point. though in between, like, this happened in Pune, and after that I did back to back workshops, which had got
Mm,
very good responses.
mm,
But when I came back to Mumbai, I did face a little bit of challenge, uh, and it didn't the transition was not so great. So there are sometimes challenges in filling up the workshop, especially me not having a permanent location to do it. I do it at various activity centers, so it matters where I am doing it, and the kind of crowd that is in that locality, and the kind of understanding they have about this particular aspect, which is definitely a very important life skill. But somehow I feel that people belittle it.
mm-hmm. And how do you think we can change that opinion?
By doing more workshops and encouraging them to attend it, and
Mm-hmm.
that's about it.
Right,
And
right.
more you talk about it, like there are so many things that keep on happening on a regular basis. So the more they see, they feel that okay, this is important. Like, for example, right now, coding is
Mm-hmm.
a new big thing. It is, so even if the child is interested, not interested, people are going after it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But manners and etiquette have never been given so much of importance, or never been
In the
publicized
mainstream.
so much. So thank you to you all also for giving me an opportunity to come here and talk about it, and hopefully that parents feel and understand that yes, how much ever they do it, it's not bad. I mean, if they're doing it, great. But when it's done by a professional, they get more validation about that. Yes, this is something extremely important.
Right, right. And that is why, no, it's really important to keep talking about things that are going to make the future a better place to live in. So the great work should always
Correct.
keep going. And yeah, so never be discouraged by anything that comes your way. You're doing a great job, and these kind of work really needs to be done.
Yes, thanks.
So, Farida, to make it a little less formal and to lighten the mood a bit, because we talked about the difficulties or the problems that you face in terms of making people understand the importance of this. Can you tell us a bit from your experiences with your workshops? Some funny things that have happened maybe with your kids, or something that a question that popped up that you did not anticipate, and then it just turned out to be a fun activity, or anything that was interesting and fun that happens during the workshop, whatever pops your head.
Sure. So there are different things that happen, and all are really great memories. But one I really remember, and whenever I'm having soup, I remember that little boy. I remember it was my second or third workshop, and I just asked this question. So now that whenever soup is served, it's served hot, and you're not supposed to have something hot. So how are you going to cool it down? So this little boy said, "Put it in the," and he said it in Gujarati. Pick it up and put it in the refrigerator. Everybody was, wow, what an easy way to do get the, and it's actually so practical. Yes, might as
Yeah,
well let it
it
cool down
is.
for 2 minutes and then bring it out and have it. So
Yeah.
and with soup there has always been this, and okay, at the end of the soup, when the soup is almost getting over,
Mm-hmm.
I asked them, okay, now that the soup is going to get over, how are you going to finish those little bits? And
Mm-hmm.
everybody will pick up the soup bowl and have it. I was like, this is exactly what you're not supposed to do. So if it is really not coming right into your spoon, just leave it, or you can tilt it a little bit and have it. So
Yeah.
these are these funny things that happen, and there are a lot many, but I can't recollect at
No,
this
sure.
point.
Sure. Okay. Okay, that's really fun. It'd be nicer if you have such fun and interesting things keep happening, because that will make your work even more exciting every time you do a workshop. Um,
Yes.
and you will have things to teach. I would just talk a bit on the side note, and I would like to address the fact that we are almost at the end of the session. We still have some time, but this conversation with you, Farida, has been wonderful, and our discussion could, go on for a while. But yeah, we need to come to a reasonable conclusion. And I have a last question for you. But before that, I would like to say to people who decided to stick around with us till this moment, thank you very much. And at the end of the interview, we are also going to address a few of our viewers' questions and comments. So if you have any questions, please shoot. Don't hesitate. We might not be able to answer all the questions, but we will definitely pick a few questions that might be interesting for Farida to answer. So we will have a few minutes for that in the end as well. And at the absolute end of the show, after the question and answer, we have a little showcase of Farida's work with Kitty Kids. So enjoy the presentation and stick around for that as well. And with that, we will close the show then. So for now, I would like to uh, ask the last question to Farida to wrap up our conversation. I have a final question and a simple but an important question for you. What do you think? Uh, what role do you believe parents play to further your cause?
Parents are the most important aspect for a parent is they need to be role models for their children. Okay, so
Mm-hmm,
before you have a child and before a parent decides to embrace parenthood, they need to plan certain things. That
mm-hmm,
what are the things that we need to do in our own behavior that will not impact the child in a bad way, how we can be good role models,
mm-hmm,
and at the same time, see, because kids are looking at the parent for everything and they imitate very fast. So
right.
it's very likely that they will imitate something which you're doing which you did not want your child to learn, but they learned it. So you parents need to be a little conscious in the way they behave when the child is around, and they play the most important role in the kids' life. So
Mm-hmm,
schools are also, sometimes they feel that schools will manage things. So good school will teach them a lot of things, but however, we need to realize that a school has to cater to so many children. As a
mm-hmm,
parent, you will have one, two, or max three or four kids. Okay, so it is a complete responsibility of the parent to be a good role model and bring in the changes even before the child comes to their into the world. What all things we need to uh, do so that the child learns the good things from us.
right. Okay, okay, perfect. That sounds incredible, and it was really nice the conversation we had today, Farida. I'm so happy that we connected through this show. I am sure that our audience and everybody who is live with us felt the same way. I am absolutely positive that we all had an enriching session today. Thank you, our audience, for tuning in. A big thank you to Farida, of course, for carving the time out for being a part of TLR shows. It was a delight to chat with you, Farida.
Thank you, thank you,
Yeah. Thank
thank you.
you. Thank you
There is
for,
one.
yeah,
There is one question I can see from
yeah, yeah.
Tree Vikram.
I
Do you
do,
want
I
me to
do.
take that?
Sure, we can address it right now, or I do intend to take questions from
Okay,
viewers in just a bit. So maybe we can do that as well.
sure.
Okay, so I just wanted to thank you for coming out and educating us because we desperately need this re-education on importance of etiquette and manners now. So for
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
for us as well. So and for more uplifting and enriching conversations like this one, follow TLR now to stay updated about TLR shows. And thank you, everybody, for joining in. We have the floor open now. So If you have any questions or remarks, do let us know. And we have about 10 minutes. If you have many questions, we can address them. Yes. So we have a question from Mr. Tri Vikram who says, does etiquette only mean table manners? That's a very nice question because we clearly have a misconception about the term etiquette. So thank you very much for the question. Would you like to address this, Farida?
So that is, again, like I said, it is a misconception. The moment you use the word etiquette, means it's aristocracy. How do you how do you eat with your fork and knife and chopsticks? It's not that. It goes much beyond that. And sometimes it's okay if you are not so well versed with eating with the cutlery. If it's the Indian food, it has to be eaten with the hands. But
Mm-hmm.
etiquette and manners is more about respecting and making the opposite person, if you're at the dining table, you make the opposite person feel comfortable to have the lunch or dinner with you.
Right. That was a good question and a great answer. Thank you. We have another comment or question. Let me see. Along with etiquette, kids must be taught right values from childhood itself so that they grow as responsible citizens. That's an apt comment, Mr. Professor Jagdish Khatri.
Yes,
Thank you so
definitely.
much. Yeah. Do you want to comment on this, maybe?
Yeah, he's absolutely right. I mean, values are inculcated by the parents and even the school that they go to. So values will be with the child all throughout their life.
Right. We have another question from Miss Monica Shrivastava. She says, in your experience as an etiquette trainer for kids, have you ever observed a difference between the interest shown by girls and boys?
To a certain extent, sometimes I feel, especially when I'm doing the exchanging of pleasantries and shaking of hands, sometimes I feel girls and boys are not too comfortable to shake hands. That's the only observation, and I
Mm,
do let them know that it's an equal world, and as you grow up you will be doing this more and more, so why not learn it from now? And so that's the only thing, not more than
mm.
that.
Okay, okay.
So they're
Thank
a little
you.
shy to just shake hands.
Yeah, okay. And it's that particular age for boys where there is a bit of shyness when it comes to physical interaction.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for the question, Ms. Monica Srivastav. Professor Jagdish Khatri wants to say that to spread awareness about these topics, workshops can be designed for right parenting that includes etiquette.
Yeah, definitely. So that will be a parenting workshop in which you are. So I do have this always on the back of my mind that more than the children, sometimes I feel the parents should also know about it. But I've never got around doing a workshop where I invite parents, and I really am not sure how much parents would be open to. Coming for a workshop to learn about how to train their children on manners and etiquette.
Mhm. Well, maybe something can be done that about as well sometime. Thank you, Professor Khatri, for your question. Ms. Nianshi wants to say, in what way are parents involved in this process?
In every way. I mean, I that was one of the last questions also, like parents are have to be involved in this. I mean, I see in today's world we are so academic conscious, and somewhere we the moment the child starts schooling, it's all about the marks, the grades, and these things are like not given that importance. But this is even more important than I feel. So if you have children who have the best of education but they lack manners and etiquette, they're not going to go too far.
Mhm. Right. We have some more time, so we might address another two or three questions, if that is okay with you, Farida.
I'm fine with that.
All right. So maybe we take the next three questions, and then we will try to wrap to everybody whose questions or comments we could not address. We're really sorry, but if Farida, we still have some time. So if Farida is okay with answering a few of your questions after the two or three that we take, we will see. But let's continue. Nice to know you, Farida. Thank you, TLR Now team, for this. So that's lovely. Thank you, Hirni, for your
Thank
comment. Nianchi has another question. She says, "How much discipline and kids' playfulness is involved in achieving raising mindful children? How much discipline and kids' playfulness is involved in achieving raising mindful children?"
Okay, so that's a tricky question. Discipline, if you want to bring about discipline, bring about it by doing things yourself. So like if I want my child to start brushing in the night twice a day, I do it also, okay, with them. Playfulness, don't teach everything in a very playful manner. Somewhere you need to draw the line and tell them that this is something serious. I want you to give a thought to it. So everything cannot be done in a very playful way. Otherwise, the seriousness of the topic will be lost.
Hmm.
I hope I'm able to answer that.
Yeah, no, I believe so too. I hope Nianchi's question was answered. We have a comment from Mr. Naseem Hamad who says, Thanks a lot, Farida, Isha, and TLR Now. Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you so
comment,
much.
Naseem. Miss Monica has another question. She says, "Manners and etiquette is a very broad field of learning. According to you, which are the most important sub areas of etiquette learning we should focus on as parents?"
The most important aspect is respect. Respect for themselves and respect for others. Being polite and kind.
Thank you for your answer and thank you for your question, Miss Monica. Professor Jagdish Khatri has another question or comment. "Respecting girls and elders should be taught to boys from childhood." Very well said, Professor Jagdish.
And it should be both ways. Why only
Yeah,
boys should do that to girls? It's sometimes girls can
definitely.
also be a little nasty. So
Yeah,
you need to teach both of them, girls and boys. So it is important that they both understand that first and most important thing, more than girls and boys, they're human beings.
definitely. Nicely said. So, Professor Khatri has to say, oh, so thank you. He wishes
Thank you,
us
sir.
well. Best wishes to Farida ma'am for success. Thanks to host Isha Vikram for nicely conducting the session. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
All right. We wait for just one more comment, and then maybe we wrap
Sure.
the show. Or what do you say, Farida? We still have time.
I'm okay with anything.
Okay. All right. So since we have another 5 to 10 minutes, if you have more questions or comments, please shoot. There is no problem at all. We are all ears. Mr. Yashi Vikram has to say, "Does the understanding of etiquette change with the change in culture? How would we address cultural differences in the area of etiquette learning?" Thank you for your question, Mr. Yashi.
Yeah, that's a very broad question. And yes, etiquette does change a little bit with culture, and especially when it comes to different countries. So their culture is different, and learning that is a completely different aspect of manners and etiquette. However, this when you are respectful, you're kind, you're considerate, you're polite, uh, it is universal. So certain things you need to know about the culture when you're visiting a different country or a different state. But apart from that, most of it remains very much universal.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for your answer, Farida. I believe. It's been quite a lot of questions and answers that we have addressed already. So thank you so much, Frida, for all the answers that you gave, and everybody who 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 stuck around with us and had enjoyed the show and also had questions and comments for us. Thank you so much. We I'm very happy. Thank you for everyone for your questions, and I'm very glad for such an active participation from all of you. I see that there are no more questions coming in, so I'm glad that so many people have joined and till the end of our conversation. And we hope to talk to Farida again. We thank you very much for joining in, and thank you, Farida, and thank you, everybody else. Until next time, everybody, bye bye. We have a presentation, so stick around for that, and then see you next time.
Thank you so much, Isha, and thank you to TLR now for this wonderful opportunity.
Of course.